There's something quietly fascinating about watching someone genuinely confident in their own intelligence suddenly reckon with a moment of pure human error. And when that person is Darragh Ennis, the Cobbler, one of ITV's most analytically sharp chasers, that reckoning becomes something viewers can't quite look away from. Darragh has always carried a particular kind of presence on the chase. He's the one who arrived as a contestant, beat the chasers, and somehow ended up joining them. That backstory alone gave him a mythology the other chasers didn't have to build from scratch. Audiences already respected him before he'd answered a single question from the other side of the desk. So when he stepped forward and openly admitted he'd made a significant mistake, one he described as making him feel genuinely stupid, something about that landed differently than it might have with anyone else. Because here's what many viewers instinctively understood: this wasn't just a man admitting a blunder. This was someone whose entire public identity is built around precision, recall, and mental agility, quietly pulling back the curtain on his own fallibility. And there's an emotional honesty in that which people respond to deeply, almost without realizing why. The phrase "I feel stupid" is deceptively powerful when it comes from someone we've spent years watching seem effortlessly brilliant. It almost reframes everything slightly. It reminds audiences that behind every confident answer, every lightning-fast recall, every assured challenge, there's a person carrying the same internal doubts everyone else does. Some viewers watching likely felt an unexpected wave of warmth toward him in that admission. Not because failure is endearing in some patronizing sense, but because genuine vulnerability from someone in that position feels extraordinarily rare on television. What's also worth sitting with is the courage that kind of admission requires. There's a version of this story where Darragh stays quiet, where the mistake remains something only those close to the situation know about. Instead, he chose transparency. He chose to name it, own it, and use the word stupid, a word that carries real emotional weight, about himself. That's not nothing. That's a deliberate decision to be human in public, and audiences notice those decisions even when they can't articulate exactly why a moment resonates. The reaction online seemed to reflect something similar. Many viewers who commented weren't piling on or expressing shock in a cynical way. The tone felt more like collective recognition, the kind of response people have when something unexpectedly real cuts through the usual polish of television. It's almost as though the admission gave audiences permission to feel something genuine rather than simply being entertained. There's also something interesting about the specific texture of intellectual embarrassment. It feels different from other kinds of mistake. When someone known for physical performance gets injured, or someone known for emotional resilience breaks down briefly, audiences understand the vulnerability intuitively. But intellectual embarrassment, the kind Darragh described, carries a particular sting because it touches something closer to identity. For someone like him, being sharp is part of who he is. Admitting that sharpness failed, even momentarily, takes a kind of quiet bravery that deserves to be acknowledged. What stayed with people isn't really the mistake itself. Honestly, the specific details of what went wrong feel almost secondary to the emotional texture of the moment.